254. This is an unprecedentedly early lift for me. Because I've actually got some shit to do. I have a thermodynamics 2 exam tomorrow, heat transfer. So I've got to learn all sorts of shit within the next 24 hours. So, in the spirit of kind of adapting my schedule such that I can lift in the most optimal way possible, I want to get the lift out of the way first, and then, chill and do all my studying and whatever later tonight. I don't like, well, I guess really I don't like when anything messes with the lift, but the last thing I want to do is like go sit at my desk for, I don't even know how many hours straight. Probably, I say straight, if I sit there for 4 hours studying, what percentage of that is really just like me on my phone? Plus I'm going to be like watching a YouTube video at the same time, right? You eat, that's how studying's done, in my opinion. Well, not in my opinion, but for me, I can't just sit here and fucking spam out equations. I need some dopamine stimulation. I'm an addict. I'm a phone addict for sure. I guarantee it. But chest, well, not just chest. We got chest and side delts. So this gym is supposed to get some Smith machines soon-ish. But what kind of perplexes me is like they had 2 perfectly good old Smith machines, which they've now just gotten rid of, in preparation for getting new ones, but they don't have the new ones yet. So that just kind of sucks. So instead of Incline Smith, I guess I'm probably going to want to start off with Incline barbell as my main, heavy pressing movement. But after that, I'm really kind of open to whatever. They've got a machine chest press here that I like. They got a pec deck that I don't really love, but still a pec deck, so I can make use of it. There's cables. There's whatever. You got to be resourceful with this kind of thing. But even if all they had was, the benches and dumbbells, I could do some incline bench and then dumbbell flies, and I'd still get a pretty freaking solid chest pump. You got to be able to get a pump with whatever you have access to. So I'm not too concerned with lack of equipment. The only thing that really gets me there is with legs, right? For me, I am a bit reliant on specific pieces of equipment for my leg training because, let's say I've got back planned and like I got no gym, but I can find a bar to do pull-ups on. Honestly, I could be satisfied with a body weight back day. It would just be more lighter squeezing sets than really heavy like bent over rows. Get what I'm saying? And I'm sure I could figure out some way to, hold my backpack and do some lateral raises for shoulders or, whatever else for everything. You get what I'm trying to say. But with legs, there's not really any better or legit way to hit your hamstrings than a hamstring curl. And I'm kind of a leg extension fanatic, so I don't want to be doing just squats or leg press. But whatever, you get what I'm trying to say. No matter what you have access to, so if you're on vacation, you got a hotel gym or whatever, right? Don't let that cause you to get the misconception that you're not going to be able to have a good lift. Right. The only thing that's going to make you have a bad lift is if you believe that you're going to. So inversely, if you believe you're going to have a good lift, you're setting yourself up for success. So about 5 minutes ago, I took the pre with an extra 10 grams of beta-alanine, the likes of which you can get at hostilesupplements.com. But I'm starting to feel it now in the face. That's when I know some shit is going down in terms of the absorption. When I can feel my cheeks and my ears start tingling, the back of my hands. If I slam my pre 1 minute before my first working set, I wouldn't get any of this. Now, I'm not saying that the beta-alanine tingles are what means that it's actually working. It's actually I don't think it's really a immediate performance benefit. It's about the loading phase, but whatever, you know what I'm saying. Your pre has to take a little bit of time to be absorbed. So a little bit of I think I yapped a little too long, but let's get in there and start chest and shoulders. Unfortunately, 3 plates and a 25 was too much to handle. Like, I did 1 rep with it. So, well, let me just break down the whole warm-up. Obviously, cables, triceps, whatever. A plate for like 5, 2 plates for 5, 3 for 3. And then I was like, all right, let's see what 365 feels like. But 1 rep, I mean, there's no way I was going to get more than 5 reps. So I think 3 plates, a 10 and a 5 should be about as heavy as I can go for at least 8. Obviously, I'm going to aim for 20. All right. Let's drop it down to 3 plates. I'll do a drop set for this one. So I'll take 3 plates, not to failure, but until, I mean, I know when I can't do 1 more. Rack it, drop it to 2, and then burn out again. Fuck. All right, that still works. All right. I think that's enough of incline bench. Let's do some machine press. All right, I think there's nothing else to say other than just bust out some reps here. I'll be a bit more controlled with them too. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. 1 more. Okay. Let's go do some kind of something. So this used to be the home of a real old school looking grungy pec deck, which was about 7,000 or 8,000 times better than this one. You know, the stack itself was heavier. You could throw a plate on the side of it. So this one is not really my favorite, but I still want to do, you know, pec fly kind of movement right now. So instead of going for a crazy amount of weights, I don't know, maybe this is the gym sign of telling me I don't need to ego lift so much. So this would be more of a slow, kind of controlled set. Like the first few reps when I'm fresh, I'll hold it for like 2 seconds. And I'll try to burn out until I can barely do partials. So let's just throw this around for at least one set. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's finish with some, I think, a cable press. If I can manage to find 2 cables open next to each other.
But yeah, they just came to our cafeteria and we was all like, who wants a water bottle? And they brought out like 8 boxes of them. Yeah, dude, they used to, so I was like good buddies with the trainer.
Yeah.
Stuff, but so like I would hang out there all the time.
Okay. All right. Let's go check the pump. All right, so my typical pose down spot was taken, but there's nothing wrong with this one. It's just, you know, since it's in the locker room, you don't want to be in here when people are fucking changing. That's weird. But if nobody's in here, there's no fucking problem. So we'll make this pump check pretty quick because, holy shit, because I've still got side delts. This workout is not done, not even close. So let's just run through a couple classics and then get back into the war zone. Whew. All right. Obviously, we're pumped. Obviously, I'm in shocked with astonishment. Let's get some side laterals spammed. So I don't want to say that I'm not going to go hard on shoulders, but chest was the fucking main dish of this lift. Shoulders was kind of, I mean, for me, almost an accessory, just because my shoulders are overly developed relative to everything else. Like when I do a back double bicep shot, my shoulders are overpowering my arms. So I am hitting them, but they just don't have the requirement for the amount of stimulation that my chest and my biceps and tris need. But I'll sit here for 4 sets with the 50s, you know, try not to swing too much and just burn the fuck out. Simple. Okay. Let's do some machine side laterals to finish. Okay. All right. Let's go check it out. All right. Typically, I'm a fan of a more private pose down, but this is good enough. I'm kind of hidden in the corner. My ideal spot has been, let's just say, occupied by a 15-pound dumbbell workout. I'm not hating, but it's kind of the dedicated posing room, you know what I'm saying? So we'll just run through a quick couple of classics and then we can get out of here. Holy cow, dude. Front lat spread with a shoulder pump is fucking freaky as all hell. Oh, okay. I think that's, oh, side try. What am I talking about? Okay. Well, let's just discuss the lift in the car. But chest and shoulders is now officially complete. There we go. Yeah, let's not recreate yesterday's ending sequence. Jesus. No, so what I was getting ready to say was, oh, now I totally forget. Have not eaten a lot of food today. Holy shit, it's 5:30. I've only had 800 calories. That means I get a lot of food to eat tonight. I've got a pound of top round, I think sirloin, I don't know. Some kind of something lean cut steak I've had it in the sous vide at 127 for, I think it's coming up on like 5 hours. That shit is going to be tender. But before I go home and slam that, which would be about 80-ish grams of protein and in the avocado oil that'll sort of sear it in, it's probably going to end up being about 20 grams worth of fat. Before I get home and do that, I got to go to, do a quick little pit stop at Kroger and get some like 0-calorie juice and some, diet soda and whatever. Just because, well, really just because, I'm going to be sitting at my desk for the next, let's just call it the foreseeable future, cramming. So I gotta maintain a level of hydration. I don't know, when people say that soda doesn't hydrate you, I mean, I don't know. Water in and of itself doesn't hydrate you. You need electrolytes to go along with it. And nobody hates on sparkling water. And as long as you got your electrolyte consumption down, I say drink your soda, man. You'll be all right. Now, if the only liquids that you're drinking every day are, just like, let's say some Coke, you're probably not going to be fully hydrated because there's no electrolytes in that shit, man. I just freaking slam electrolyte packets, all the steaks and meats. Always got a lot of salt. The only thing that'll get you with the sodium intake is if you have a massive change, right? So let's say I take a week or two and I'm eating like, I don't even know how many grams of sodium I'm eating. Definitely a lot. But I mean electrolytes in general, but let's just narrow it down to sodium. Let's say I'm doing 5 grams a day. Whatever, hypothetical, just number, right? If for whatever reason on that 8th day, I take in like 20 grams, or how about this? Let's say for those first week, I was doing 2 grams a day, but then out of nowhere on day number 8, 10 grams of sodium. Yeah, sure. I might hold on to a lot of water just because, osmosis and whatnot, but just because you're getting a lot of sodium in doesn't mean you're going to hold a ton of water. Right. You got to think your muscles if you know how all that shit operates, it's just osmosis, electrolyte transfer, whatever, with potassium and sodium and magnesium, whatnot. Basic idea summed up into a few points. The more electrolytes that you have saturating your muscles, the better they're going to perform. So, stop by the sports drink section of your grocery store, get some electrolyte mix, get some Silo 9, code, I think, SAM50. Buy one, get one 50% off. That's got some amino acids in there too. That's not going to mess with your hydration, but that's just kind of good to have floating around a little. I do not mind sipping on electrolytes. Actually, no, I definitely don't mind sipping on electrolytes. I don't mind sipping on amino acids. That's what I was trying to say. So I'll do one more spin around the block before I actually go into the Kroger. But yeah, that chest day was pretty good. I definitely would have preferred Smith machine as a starter rather than incline barbell. I mean, they both have benefits and drawbacks, right? I'd say there's pretty much 4 big pressing movements for chest, and I would recommend that you do them in their inclined variation, but do what you want to do. Right? You got dumbbell bench, barbell bench, Smith machine bench, and machine press, chest targeted, of course, right? Now, incline Smith machine, you've got it on a controlled track. You're not going to have to worry about too much stabilizers per se. Any machine where you don't have to hold it out in the open space, you don't have to worry about balancing. And all you're really trying to focus on is activating whatever muscle you're trying to target. Right? So there's a benefit to Smith machine. You get to really push it. You can do, I'd say, a considerable amount more partials on a Smith machine than you could on just an incline barbell. Plus, it's just a bit easier to re-rack, So incline barbell is sort of the counter, right? You do have to use a bit more stabilizers, but then there's the little bit of bro science logic is like, oh, well, you're activating more muscles, right? So I think there's some legitimacy to that statement. I'm certain, but for the most part, it's just kind of personal preference on which one I want to do on whatever given day. And then incline, well, I guess not incline, but dumbbell bench, much more of a squeeze than you can get on, like, let's say, incline barbell or Smith machine. Because even though you're holding the weight at the top with straight arms, let's say, you're still firing your chest to hold it up because those dumbbells want to spread apart. So a little bit more squeeze, a bit more flexion per se. Well, not flexion, a bit more of a flexing feeling at the top. And then pretty similar to the Smith machine with the machine press. But typically the machine press, the handles are going to converge. As you do the pressing motion, the handles are going to come inward. And that'll also kind of help you get a bit more squeeze at the top. Because when you do incline or when you do barbell and Smith machine bench, you can load up a ton of weight. But, for the most part, it's hardest at the bottom, obviously. And then you can kind of rest it at the top. That's why on those first couple sets of incline barbell I was doing, I didn't, as I got more and more fatigued, those last couple reps, I didn't rest it at the bottom, take a few breaths, and then try to press it, right? Once I got it locked out, that's when, I took a few breaths and then went for another rep. You don't fail, I don't even know what I was trying to say there, whatever. But chest was a success. I really wish that those pec decks were heavier. That's my only gripe right now in there. But still, I think the pump speaks for itself. It was pretty good. It's a little busy in there today, but what are you going to do, You got to make use with what you got. I could have drove another 20 minutes to a different gym, which I knew would have been more empty, but then I got another 20 minutes, right? So if you're curious about why I'm going all over the place in terms of these gyms, for one thing, I just kind of like it, doesn't, it's not like going to one gym will get stale for me. I've gone to just the same gym on end for months at a time, probably years at a time. But, Some gyms just have different equipment too, which is why I may have preferred to go here for chest today, and I may prefer to go to a different gym for, back and rear delts tomorrow. So side delts was pretty much as good as I would expect. Right, all I'm really trying to do is pump them up. Uh, Using the 50s, that was probably about as heavy as I would want to go on the side laterals, just because your shoulder doesn't need that much weight, at least not in my opinion. I'm really just going for a pump, right? Getting that sort of burning feeling. If you're doing side laterals and you're really swinging and you're getting a lot of trap activation, I think you've kind of gone a little bit past the amount of weight necessary to just stimulate the side delts. And then another point with those, I mean, I just had a guy ask me when I was after the workout was over and I was just kind of loitering, walking around. He was like, "Hey Sam, do you have a shoulder workout for me that's not just side lateral raises?" And I said, "No, right? That's all there is for side delts, man. Even though I did the machine and the dumbbells, or I could do a cable variation or single arm dumbbell or whatever, whatever combination in between, right? The side delt is just a pretty freaking simple muscle. I even say biceps are pretty simple, but at least with bis, you kind of have they sort of have two actions in terms of how they move your arm, right? They bend your arm or they curl your arm, I guess. But then there's also some shit going on with this twisting action with your bicep. But with side delts, man, really all they're doing is taking your arm from here to here. So as long as you can do that motion with load, I mean, I don't care if you're holding the freaking gallon jug of water at the house, right? You're stimulating those fibers. So I'm gonna get some calorie safe snacks, get back to the house, learn about I think it's the Reichert cycle. The fact that I don't know shows my lack of preparedness, but I'm sure I'll end up doing all right. So I will see you tomorrow for back and rear delts.